Okay, so I had a better idea than trying to piece this stuff together to make mirrors. I've got the mirror parts themselves, and I've got this solder in this diameter here, which should work. Pretty close approximation, right? So what we'll do is we'll drill a couple of holes on each side in the cab to locate our main mirror bracket. We'll leave out these little V-shaped components as just well, needless. Let's call them what they are. So how do we get solder in the shape that we want? And we're going to remember that it is solder, and it's not ideal for this, but it will work. So we just need to roll it out to make it nice and straight, so it's not. So we get what amounts to basically what looks like a steel rod or piano wire, and it's just solder. Then we're going to approximate this bend with the bracket in place. So we need something about this long before our first bend. And because this is not piano wire and it's just solder, we can just use a pair of fine pliers. We don't need the big jumbo toolkit cutters. Alright. So this should be about the right length. Let's see. Right. Keep it in mind, I'm going to drill about 1/16 of an inch depth into these doors. I don't want to drill any further than that. I want to drill into the cab or into the cabinet tub or the cabin tub. I just want to get enough for these to seat properly in there. So now we need length. Well, again, we're going to use our prototype for length. So we need to be right about here. For the other bend. Now we want to make sure that both bends are square. I mean, it's not piano wire, so it's not mission critical. We can twist it. What you want to do is get a 90-degree angle here, to where this is now straight up and down to the pliers. Grip it at our bend point and just bend it the other bend to 90 so that they match. Matchy matchy. Alright, once we're done there, now we just need that depth again. So we're going to line up on our straight line here. Get this line parallel to this line, and that gives us our cutoff. So we're going to chop this one right off, right here. And again, this is solder. You have to be careful when you're handling it, not to bend it, but you can cut it with just about anything. I could cut it with scissors, but I'll use the end nippers. Nippers. There you can see we have a nice flat bracket. And for this, once it's installed in the door, I'll just glue the mirror onto the back side of it. So we'll drill our 2 holes and then attach our mirror. And you can see that fits right onto the cabin door. It's spaced properly, right? And it almost tells me intuitively where to drill. Okay dokie, so we'll make 2. No, that's the wrong wire. I need this one. So again, we're just going to cut it off, roll it out. Alright, piece of wood against the deck of the table. Might need a little more. Might need a little more persuasion, a little more encouragement to lie flat. That's about as good as it's going to get. That's all right. So again, we're going to make our bends. And bend this one a little longer because I'm going to cut off some of that end where it's a little bit twisted. We want a 90. We want it to match this. So if we put the ends right on the line, and then we line this one up right on the edge of the line, it tells us where to make our cut here. Right, and then the same as before. You want to make sure they're the same length. Mark for the bend. Get everything at a nice right angle to the. I actually want to be above the line, not below it. Make sure we're at a right angle. And we're straight, and we want to fold that up. Let's see if that's right. Not too tight. Pretty good. Alright, and then we're going to match the other cut. And we should have a nice straight line. Let's see. We're actually a little long on the bottom, which is good. So I'm going to take a little more of that off anyway. There we go. Right? Matching brackets. Okay, who's a good boy? Alright, so now we're going to cut in right above the wind wing stanchion on the door. So the two holes will be roughly here and here. We've got our two bars, we've got our two mirrors, and then I'll figure out what to do about those turn signals. In fact, I could probably just use these. We'll sling these underneath, and I'll put a couple of amber lenses in them. And we should be good to go. Alright, this is going to be tough. I hate drilling into a painted finish. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And these are just pilot holes. We're going to get the bigger drill in there. But I don't want it wandering. I don't want that, when I start cutting that hole, I don't want the drill point wandering. So we do pilot hole first. Alright. Now because we're using solder, if I don't get the distance right on these two holes, the solder is a flexible entity, so I'll be able to manipulate it a little bit to make it work if I'm off just a millimeter or two. I hate adding any kind of pressure to that. Alright, that should be deep enough. So now we'll just hold the bracket up, place that first hole, the top part of the bracket into that first hole, and that tells me where I need to make that second hole, which is right under the stanchion, right at the edge. Hopefully I'm in the right spot here. I think so. I guess we'll find out. And if I have to bend a new bracket, that's fine. Because it's just solder, it's cheap. And you saw how easy it was to bend. It's not gonna put me out at all. And you see how much easier this is than fiddling around with those little pieces of plastic. I mean, that's just a complete waste of my valuable time. Alright, let's see if we got this in the right spot. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Alright, let's see how fast that goes together. Now I should probably mount the mirror to the bracket before I go any further, because you know that's going to be a deal. Now it's going to be a thing. So if that's like that, this just needs to be on here, out on the end. It's very slippery, and that's probably not going to change. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut a groove into that. And we'll use this knife file. And I think first we'll draw a, you know what, maybe the razor knife would be a good. Let's think about that. Just need to see what I'm doing here. Drawing on chrome plating. Oh yeah, this guy. So the first thing I want to do is get some tape. I hope that I don't have to do this off camera. I want to be able to show you what I'm doing. Well, let's see. Well, I'm probably going to have to do this off camera. Do I have a plate? Just try it like this. Let me see if I can do this. Pretty great, right? There it is. Terrific. So all I want to do is start a cut on here. And then I'll widen it with the file until it fits around that solder. I don't know what I've done here. I'm trying to keep this where you can see. Okay. Now I don't know where all those other, well, I know where one of the brackets is anyway. What do I need? Okay, we're gonna have to redo this. The brackets are fine, but now I'm gonna have to sand and paint the entire mirror part. So I'm gonna fit the brackets. I'll sand these, paint them up, and then we'll attach them afterward. All right. Thanks for watching.